Are we live yet?
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm
Good
out.
morning, recruitment, everyone.
I'm out.
What's wrong?
It's taken me 4 days to get out of the cupboard. Angela and Alan locked me in.
Yay! We've got you back,
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
To be the one who has you here with me.
And not only did they lock me in the cupboard, they made me listen to their show on loop.
Oh, wow. So did you listen to it non-stop? Are you exhausted just listening to it?
Oh, the problem was, it was great. It was fantastic. I was like, oh no, they're better than me.
No, they're not. People buy from people, Alex. We're all different. We've all got different things that people want. So no, we're all the same.
So I guess the first topic we're talking about today, Claire, and for those that don't know, because we sort of assumed a bit of familiarity, this is Claire Davis, our mental health and resilience coach in the gym. She runs a course on managing stress and mental health for recruiters as part of our leadership program or leadership package.
Yeah.
And which incidentally is going live again soon. But the first topic today, Claire, is the role teamwork plays in helping your mental well-being. So why is teamwork such an important part of being mentally fit for the job?
Well, teamwork, I think we need to understand that positivity, teamwork, the way we behave, the way we react to each other is contagious. So if we're being positive, everybody else will be positive. If we go in and we're negative, we're feeling stressed, that's going to compound to everyone else. And my saying is behavior breeds behavior. So we want to make sure we're being positive because positivity releases stress and helps other people release stress as well.
Yeah, and I think especially for leaders, I think what's made me feel good this week is sort of leaning on the team more. Does that make sense in terms of sort of not assuming that they don't want to do something, giving them an opportunity to do more? So Alan and Angela said, can we take over for a few days? Or to be fair, I was a bit knackered. So Angela offered. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Inside, I was like, no. But they did a great job. And I think part of building a team and being part of a team is knowing that you can rely on other people in the team to make sure the machine still moves when you're not there. Does that make sense?
Definitely. And, it's all part of, when we're a manager, we have to realize we need to delegate. And we need to delegate to motivate people. So it's part of motivation. And if people are feeling motivated, they're feeling like they're growing by giving them those challenges. And growth helps with our mental health. It makes us feel good. If we're growing and we've got challenges, it motivates us more and makes us feel good. So it all goes into one. If we're good managers and we learn to let go, that was one of my first rules that I had to learn as a manager in recruitment. It was a case where I had my clients, I had to learn to let go and trust other people. They may not have had the same conversations as me. They have different relationships as me, but they can be just as successful. We need to do that as part of a team.
Yeah, and I think what's been interesting this week is that sort of, I mean, part of everyone's motivated when they get stretched and they get encouraged to do new things, and not everyone enjoys it. And what's interesting for me is that actually, like, I had an hour and a half call yesterday because we got some big news to announce on Monday in the gym. So that's a bit of a teaser. But I was on a call with people I was giving stuff away to, with Angela and Georgie, and it was making me realize I wasn't very good at some parts of my job. And so on one hand, I didn't like it. On the other hand, I was like, this is brilliant because they're going to do it better than me.
It's different skill sets. And, I actually, a good friend of mine from uni, we've been contacting each other and we organised to have lunch. He's a CEO of a massive company in London. And I said to him, where do you want to go for lunch? He goes, I'll leave that to my PA. It's not my skill set. I love that. It's not his skill set. So we've all got different skill sets. And we have to look at what our skill sets are, because if we're doing what we're good at, we are more motivated and then our mental health is great. We're not
So
feeling low.
My wife does that every Friday. She's going shopping and she goes, "What shall I buy next week for food?" And I basically say, "I don't really care." If I said it's not my skill set, it would be. I think we've got to apply that contextually.
Yeah, definitely in the workplace. But we have to realize what our strengths are, and realize what other people's strengths are, and that's all part of motivating. It's all part of our mental health, because if I'm doing something that I don't enjoy, I'm feeling low. So we need to turn that around and do things that we enjoy.
And that's where a lot of agencies are sort of splitting out the different parts of the recruitment process. So some people just do sourcing, some people just do filling vacancies, some do the BD side of things as well. So it's been good. And the good thing is about that is that it leads into the next part of our topic today is about the fact that how motivational it is and how it helps you feel good when you're helping people improve and you're helping people get what you want. So why does helping play such a big role, Claire?
Helping plays a huge role. If we're helping people, we're giving, and giving is so good for our mental health. I was training a workshop yesterday and we were talking about this, and I went around the group and I said, okay, what have you given recently and how did it make you feel good? And they all went, whatever they had given, they went, I felt great. I'm loving it. I'm loving doing this. And we have to realize that, in recruitment, if we're giving, we are building relationships, and we are going to get back. We are going to get back at sometimes. Sometimes we feel like we may not be, but we are.
Yeah, and I think I always work on the karmic balance principle, which is if you give, you shall receive, because karma always balances. The problem is mentally you always receive from a different place than you give. So you always, your brain's going, I gave there and they didn't give me anything back, where you've got to believe, well, I gave there and this good thing happened, therefore it worked out to be equal. So you've got to sort of play the games in your head there. So,
and Kirsty's just used the word, it makes me so proud to help people. And I like that word proud. It sets off different emotions. And Sarah Clark said it's a nice, rewarding feeling. And it is. And it helps with our stress when we're giving. And, it's really, really powerful for our mental health.
And we've got such an opportunity to help. I think some of the regulars will remember when I wore my LinkedIn T-shirt, which is I help people get jobs. Yeah. And, I think that there's two ways of thinking what we do in recruitment is that, are we here to make money? Or are we here to help people with their careers? And we help clients with their careers because we enable them to achieve their goals, which help them get promotions.
Yeah.
We help candidates get the career opportunities that they want or get the jobs that they need in order to have the life that they want. And yes, sure, we earn money while we're doing that. But I think behind everything that you do, I think the difference between whether you enjoy what you do or not what you do is about the intent with which you do it. And for me, sure, I placed some people and I wasn't really that fired up about them getting a job. But there's definitely people I've placed where I'm like, I made a difference to that person.
Oh, yeah. And you hear about it even years later. I've heard from candidates that I placed many years ago how happy they were that they got the jobs that they did at the time. It's really,
and I think that's also whether it be in a training role like you and I, Claire, or whether it be in recruitment, we touch so many people. And the drive is to always be thinking about the next candidate or the next training course or the next attendee. We often forget the fingerprint that we've left behind us.
And we often, what I love in recruitment is when a client becomes a candidate or a candidate becomes a client in the future. It's showing that you've given so much that they've remembered you to actually come back and find you when they need you on the other side, which is great.
Yeah, so indeed, and there's some great chat going on here.
Loads of great
things people are proud of, and there's a lot of praise for Alan and Angela's sort of loving. I feel like it's a great show. There's basically the chat features like, Angela, you're amazing.
Oh, it's all Alan, about them. It's not about us, Alex. It's all about them.
We are here to serve, after all. So
we are here to serve. And we were also going to talk today, Alex, about managing your manager and how that's good for your mental health
Yeah, I think I think managers are a massive cause of stress, and part of that is that they're often holding you accountable to the standards that you've aspired to. So if you've got a good manager, you've told them what you want, and what they're doing is just holding the mirror, going, "Are you doing it yet? Are you doing it yet? Are you doing it yet?" And that can cause stress because it often, especially in recruitment, if you haven't done what you needed to do, it is on you, right? I know recruiters sort of say, "Oh, I'm micromanaged." Yeah. Most recruiters get between 9 and 10 hours a day when no one cares what they do. Yeah. But that's not the case if you're a lawyer. Even if you're a partner of a law firm, you are still accounting for your time in 12-minute increments. Yeah. Even if you're a managing partner, right? You still have an hour's goal. Yeah. So recruiters, that's once a week, someone wants to talk to them about what they've done that week and they think it's micromanagement. Yeah. But I think when it comes to managing your manager, it's really important that you develop a confidence to actually push back, to sort of say why you think you've had a good week and be prepared to argue the facts. Why is having the confidence to argue a point really important for your mental health, Claire?
Well, let's not use the word argue, because that could be of detriment to our mental health. So if we use the word discuss, so we want to use positive words, and it's a case of, if we're confident, we are usually confident. We are confident when we're feeling positive. When we're not feeling positive, our confidence just goes down, spiral down. So I remember a time where I was managing my manager, and I said to her, I'm quite bored. I'm bored. I need a challenge. Yeah. She didn't listen. She didn't take me up on it. So I left the job, which was really unfortunate. I love that company. But what we need to remember with managers is they are middle managers. It is the hardest job in any organization. They have to answer to you and they have to answer to above. So what I want to look at as with positive mental health is helping our manager. Let's help them, help me, and help them get our targets so they don't have to answer to above negatively. And then if they're not answering to above negatively, they're not stressed.
Yeah, and it's a bit like sometimes you'd and I've probably done this as well as a leader, is that you come out of your board meeting where you've been given a hard time, and you walk in the next day like you're on fire, and everyone goes, right, we're going to get it today. Yeah. And either the manager takes it out on the team, or they're really open, which is, we are like, I'm getting heat because we're not doing what we do.
So it's all helping each other so that the manager's less stressed, we're less stressed, so then we're more productive.
Yeah. And I think again, recruiters often shy away from metrics. They don't like tracking activity on the system. I'm a really big believer that if you are tracking activity on the system and you know how many interviews you've had, how many people you've spoken to, when your manager is saying, where's your performance, you can point to the activity and say, well, I have done these things. I'm moving from A to B. Am I as far ahead as I want? No. If you'd like to help me get more from what I do, let's talk about it. Yeah. And I think that's the aversion that people have of anyone talking about the activity that you've done this week almost removes the biggest opportunity to have a constructive conversation with your manager, which is, how could you have got more from what you do? Yeah. Too many managers focus on how much have you done, not how could you have got more from what you've done. Like, volume is an issue for lots of people. I could certainly speak to more people. But often there's a quality issue as well. Did I follow up as consistently? Yeah.
And did I have those quality calls? Not doing 100 calls a day, quality calls.
Yeah. And I remember I probably spent 2 hours a week. I probably spent 2 years arguing with my boss. And I was like, right, do you want low volume, high quality activity? Do you want high volume, low quality activity? Which one do you want? Which one do you think my boss said?
Yeah.
What did my boss say?
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, someone could put it in the chat.
Boss said low volume, high quality.
Yeah. So basically, let's see if everyone says. I said to my boss, do you want high volume, low quality, or do you want low volume, high quality? What did the boss say in response? So let's see what the crowd comes up with, because it was the same response every time. but I think a healthy conversation, is really important. So because we're short on time, what my boss said is I want both. I want high volume, high quality. The same argument goes, do you want high sales and low margin, or do you want high margin and low sales? And the answer is always both. So that's the tension, right? Like if you can do lots of a high quality, like you do really well. You take out the stress of uncertainty, but one, you can't just have one and go from there. So high quality, low volume. The thing is, Sarah, is that so Sarah said high quality, low volume. In today's market, you're going to need to do more, right? But you're going to have to do it better. And that's the challenge for many people is we sit there and we go, right, well, I've made 5 good engagements today. Well, it could be the market you're in dictates you need to do 10. And it's knowing what you need to do. And ultimately, you measure it by the output. Did you get the opportunities that you need? Did you get the interviews that you need as well? So I have an NED today. I have an NED that I work with. And this week we had a 2-hour conversation, and it was toing and froing, pushing and pulling, and me asking him questions, him asking me questions. And I left feeling not great, but I left feeling like I'd given a good account to myself. And that's always a positive thing from a meeting.
Brilliant. Excellent. So I think the moral of that is everything high.
Yeah, it's always high.
High.
But the key is about how can you leverage your team to help you do that? You know, it's not all on you. It's about how can your manager help you? How can your colleagues help you? Who can you help that in return will help you as well? So what's your close? So before we finish, I just want to say that Angela in the gym today is running a webinar on planning and goal setting. And also, Claire, you are running a webinar on Monday, which is free for everyone to attend.
Yes, it's with a man called Ben Bowers, who is on the advisory board of Movember. He used to be in recruitment, and he's talking about mental health for men in recruitment. It also applies to women, but especially it applies to young flyers, because he was a young flyer, and we'll talk about his story on Monday at 2:00.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to that. Remember, 4:15 today, Cripps and Clark are on fire.
Yep.
The closing quote we're going to leave with is from Sarah Clark, and it is a quote. And it is, whatever you're doing today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman t-shirt.
Love it, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
How cool is that? That is, we could do a lot with that quote. So thank you very much, Sarah. That's made my day. So Claire, thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
And see you all next week.
Everybody.
Bye. See you on Monday as well. Bye.
Bye. You need to finish. Stop.
I've done it.